I'd say she's a very ambitious person, obviously, and she wants to be president. She feels that she is supposed to be president. I think she's felt like that for a long time. I think, obviously, to run for president, you have to be pretty egotistical already.
Bill, what are your initial impressions?
There's definitely some trust issues there, but like everybody else has said, her record pretty much speaks for itself. She's eminently qualified to run this country, and I think she'd probably do a pretty good job.
Bill, what's the single thing you like most about her?
Her experience, especially in foreign policy and being Secretary of State. I think that's going to be a real key problem in the next 4 years.
What did she accomplish that you consider significant as Secretary of State?
I really can't name anything off the top of my head.
Okay, Marlene, how about you?
He's like, give me a minute. Give me 2 minutes and go someplace else.
Christina, can you think of something that she accomplished as Secretary of State that impressed you or thinks important?
No.
Amanda, anything you'd point to say this is a good credential for?
I honestly can't say I followed along everything that was going on all that well.
Okay, Theda?
I think she would do an excellent job.
When you look at your time as Secretary of State, what are you most proud of, and what do you feel was unfinished, maybe love to have another crack at one day?
Well, I really see, that was good.
Just sort of slide.
That's why he wins prizes. Look, I really see my role as Secretary, and in fact leadership in general in a democracy, as a relay race. I mean, you run the best race you can run, you hand off the baton. Some of what hasn't been finished may go on to be finished. So when President Obama asked me to be Secretary of State, and I agreed, we had the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression. We had 2 wars. We had continuing threats from all kinds of corners around the world that we had to deal with. So it was a perilous time, frankly. And what he said to me was, look, I have to be dealing with the economic crisis. I want you to go out and represent us around the world. And it was a good division of labor because we needed to make it clear to the rest of the world that we were going to get our house in order. We were going to stimulate and grow and get back to positive growth and work with our friends and partners. So I think we did that. I'm very proud of the stabilization and the really solid leadership that the administration provided that I think now leads us to be able to deal with problems like Ukraine because we're not so worried about a massive collapse in Europe and China trying to figure out what to do with their bond holdings and all the problems we were obsessed with. I think we really restored American leadership in the best sense that, once again, people began to rely on us, to look at us as, setting the values, setting the standards. I just don't want to lose that because we have a, dysfunctional political situation in Washington. And then, of course, a lot of particulars, but I am finishing my book, so you'll be able to read all about it.
I have one very brief one on the QDDR. Off the top of your head, can you identify one tangible achievement that the last QDDR resulted in?
Well, Matt, obviously it's an extensive, expansive
So
process.
no.
We're looking at how it was done last
Just
time.
one.
I know, I'm making an important point here.
Okay.
The Secretary wants it to be focused. It's going to focus on a more narrow range of issues. It's always to look at how we can improve things, and we'll see where we come out on the end.
So can you, off the top of your head, identify one tangible achievement that resulted from the last QDDR?
I am certain that those who were here at the time, who worked hard on that effort,
One
could point out one.
That since you've come on board that you've noticed, that someone has said that you've noticed that you can point back saying, wow, the first QDDR identified this as a problem and dealt with it.
Well, as you know, I've only been here since it was concluded.
Okay.
So I'm sure there are a range of things that were put into place that I'm not even aware of were a result.
I won't hold my breath.
Okay.
Christina, what's the thing about her you don't like?
I don't think there's really anything. I don't think there's really anything.
I mean, why did she actually come out and actually really talk more about Benghazi? I mean, she completely hid behind it and just didn't discuss it. And I would really like to see the next president actually be more forthright and actually be more outspoken and been like, listen, we made a mistake, this is where we went wrong, and just completely own it. But we don't have politicians like that anymore.
What's the thing that gives you the most concern about her as a potential candidate for your Democratic Party or as a potential president?
I guess it would be her honesty. Like you were talking about Benghazi, this whole email thing that she supposedly deleted the emails. And she's just a very closed, quiet, closeted person, and I think that's probably one of her downsides.
There are some questions about her, but I think most of the questions of honesty and stuff are overblown. A lot of, in fact, is made that, oh, she's so ambitious. Well, you know what? If you're going to be a politician, if you're going to set yourself out to be elected to any office, you have to be ambitious. You have to have one big ego. And if you're going for the higher offices, you've got to have an absolutely huge ego, and sometimes that rubs people the wrong way.
So one thing that some people have expressed concern about her for, including within the Democratic Party, is her ties to Wall Street. Are any of you concerned about that?
No.
Well, name one candidate that doesn't have ties to Wall Street. Oh, probably
They all
Sanders.
have ties to something.
But, you know, how can you get anywhere without having at least some ties to Wall Street or the business community?
Charlie, it was reported the other day, you may have heard, that the Clintons, Bill and Hillary Clinton together, have made $30 million in speaking fees, some from overseas interests. Does that trouble you at all?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, they, of course they have. I mean, he's an ex-president. I mean, they make a lot of money, so do the Bushes, so do a lot of politicians. Would I feel a little bit more comfortable if they, had more common person's experience? Yes, I would. But is it in the top 30 of issues that I care about? No, it's really not that important to me.
I mean, it seems pretty silly to me that she thought, using a Gmail account was acceptable for diplomatic-related stuff. But really, I don't care. I mean, I've got emails that I don't want people reading, not because they're, there's bad stuff in there, but that's my personal stuff.
If something stops Hillary Clinton from being president, what will it be?
Probably some scandal that somebody tries to drum up. But I really don't see what else they can do.
Okay, Bill, what would stop her?
I don't see anything stopping her. They've been having her with Benghazi and this emails and everything's just washing right off.
But is there something else you think if she's not elected?
Yeah, maybe another scandal, yeah, if that's possible.
She's not perfect, but she's been in the eye for a long time, in the public's eye, and you're going to have some stuff on her. But, she has great policies and she knows how to get stuff done.